Okay, our next bill is House Bill 1286. Representative Stuart.
Good morning.
Good morning. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. House Bill 1286 is, it's a repeat of a bill that we passed in the House 2 years ago and did not flow its way all the way through the Senate. So it creates the opportunity for places, businesses, universities, you name it, to create a multi-stall gender-neutral restroom if they so choose, and it lays out requirements for what is in that facility, locking mechanisms, privacy, disposal for menstrual products, all those types of things that we need to have in restrooms.
All right, thank you, Representative Stuart. Before we move on to testimony or questions, we do have 317 proponents, 1,512 opponents. Do I have leave for reading the witness slips? Okay, great. Are there any questions from the committee? Okay, Representative Ness has a question, and then we'll go to Representative Meyer.
Thank you. My question, this is not any kind of a mandate. This is just guidelines for facilities or establishments that want to create an all-gender restroom.
Right, so frequently if they would want to create it, they cannot. So this is completely permissive and just explains how to go about putting it in place, making sure that we're not, we have the law about balancing, facilities, so making sure that we're not impeding on that, equality that we worked for a while back, and things like that.
So for places that already do have that, they're doing it illegally?
They're doing it illegally,
Really?
yes.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, thanks.
Now just to clarify, a few years back, we did pass a law that a single toilet facility, those are all non-gendered, and they should be across the board in the state of Illinois. This is to allow for a multi-stall if they so desire.
Great, thanks. And I also want to mention we also have Mike Zeri here from Equality Illinois, who's also available to answer questions. Representative Meyer.
In here, when part of it says require certain newly constructed.
In the brief analysis, that is an incorrect interpretation. It's saying that when you are newly constructing, and Mike can correct me if I phrase it wrong, but if you are newly constructing or renovating and you choose to make a gender-neutral facility, you can't, the idea is you can't have a gender-neutral facility and then a men's-only facility right next door. So if you want to create, for some reason, two separate multi-stall locations right next to each other or across the hall from each other, then they both would be gender-neutral. But that's just to avoid that problem, and that helps, again, balance what we require in terms of even numbers of facilities that are specifically gendered.
How far apart then? Where's your requirement? Where's the next closest bathroom allowed to be or not allowed to be? If they're not allowed to be side by side.
Yes, Mike Zeri from Equality Illinois Policy Director. The language in the legislation is located adjacent to or in proximity to. The bill does not specify a distance. We imagine the distance would be set by rules by the Department of Public Health when they would implement these standards.
I'm looking at, think of large arenas where you've got people stacked high and low. You only have so much space. A lot of people will not want to go into an all-gender restroom, and you won't have no space. When buildings are plumbed, your plumbing is ran through certain areas that are heated and they're air conditioned so they don't freeze. And other parts of these big outdoor arenas aren't. And so you're adding a lot of cost
And
into that.
if an arena is worried about the space, they do not have to create such a restroom. That's why it's permissive, and it's because we understand types of constraints like that.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions for the sponsor or witness? All right, seeing none, Representative Cassidy moves House Bill 2086 do pass. Is there leave? Okay, partisan leave. And with that, we have 6 votes in favor, 3 votes opposed, and 0 voting present, and House Bill 1286 is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative.